Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. In this Belgian small cities tour, we are going to discuss how to explore Belgium like a pro. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that I'm in Belgium for a couple of weeks, and at the end of this trip, I'll be recording my final verdict video comparing Belgium with other countries to help you decide if you should visit, while saving you lots of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or through the link in the video description below. With that being said, let's begin exploring one of the small cities in Belgium called Leuven. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's Leuven or something like that, but you can see the name of this little city over here on this sign. We are currently located at the train station, and we are about to begin walking and see what this city has to offer. Chances are you may never heard of this city. It is located pretty close to Brussels, just a 15 or 20-minute train ride, very close by and relatively affordable to get here by train directly from Brussels, as well as any other major cities in Belgium. You can easily get here. This is what the train station looks like, and we can go ahead and see this sign with all the trains that are arriving and departing from this location and going to different towns and cities in Belgium. They also use these old school paper schedules, which I think is also still helpful in 2025. I appreciate them giving us a chance to see all this information here at the station. And we can see a train departing to Brussels. Very comfortable double-decker trains, very good seats, power outlets available, European power outlets of course. No USB power, but still very scenic ride experience. Highly recommend checking it out. And now that the train left, we can see the rest of the station. Even for a smaller city like this, it is a rather big station, which kind of gives you an idea that train travel and train commuting is very, very popular in Belgium. And now as we exit the train station area, we are greeted with this square that's right in front of it. And this is where you can transfer to some buses or walk to the city center, which is a very short walk, and we are going to take that walk together so you can have an idea of what this little city looks like. It is my first time here, so we are kind of exploring it together in real time. I'll be sharing my first impressions, immediate reactions. I might be making some mistakes. The video is unedited, so you can feel exactly what it's like to be in this moment, hopefully. But I do have some tips that I would be happy to share with you for traveling in Belgium. As soon as we check out this bus that's about to enter the station, and you can see how friendly this area is for pedestrians. Lots of people are walking around. Also very beautiful buildings surrounding us. So it is right away a very welcoming environment that looks kind of cool and authentic, and definitely looks better and more welcoming than the central train station in Brussels, for example. When you exit that station, you don't see as much beauty as you see over here. And also the exterior of the station looks pretty cool as well. Really vintage, old school, classic style. As well as these buildings as well. I've been to several different cities in Belgium now, and this is definitely my favorite one as far as exiting the station and the first impression of the city. And it's also noticeable how friendly the infrastructure for bicycles is in Belgium. You can see that ramp. I'm gonna zoom it in, but that is a ramp for bicycles, so that it's convenient for them to avoid the stairs and ride across the station or many other places. It's very, very convenient. If you like riding your bicycle, I think Belgium can be a good choice. And if you're not used to having so many bicycles around while walking, this might be somewhat of a challenge getting used to it, because you see bicycles everywhere and you really have to watch out for them. Learning how to respect their space takes some getting used to. You can see what this street looks like. Definitely good looking street. And again, I want to remind you that we are currently you could say kind of in the middle of nowhere, because nobody knows about this city. Nobody talks about it. There's a relatively low number of videos about it on YouTube and online. And it looks awesome. It is very beautiful, and it definitely has a soul. I can feel it as I'm walking on this street. I'm very happy and grateful for the opportunity to be here and feel it. So one of the main tips that I have for exploring Belgium like a pro is to, guess what? Travel by train. Base yourself in Brussels, because it's kind of in the middle and it has very convenient connection with many other towns and cities around Belgium. So you don't necessarily have to book different hotels or Airbnbs in different cities, because Belgium is so small and train travel is so convenient and accessible that your best bet would be to just base yourself in Brussels, as close to any major train station as possible, where you can easily just wake up in the morning, walk to the train station, and then go to all kinds of cities and towns like this, including some of the more popular ones like Bruges and Antwerp, and some of the less overrated ones like this one, Leuven. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, please forgive me. I'm trying my best here, but there are also many of them, and I believe that each one is unique and different in its own way and has something cool to offer, something cool to explore. Now we are here at this sign that's telling us where we are. I can see that we are right over here, and this is where the train station is, and we are walking towards this way, which is where the city center is. So as you can see, this is like maybe a 10 or 15 minute walk or something like that, and then we are here. But this walk is very scenic, as you can experience it with me right now, so it's definitely worth it. I feel that we are already in the city center, and it's definitely a very cool feeling when you don't have to share your space with so many tourists and travelers, and you feel more of a local vibe, but the buildings are still so beautiful and picturesque with very elegant, stylish architecture, and not so many people around. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. This might be one of my favorite days in Belgium, actually.
I think it's because it's on Sunday.
Yeah, my partner is pointing out that maybe it's because this is a Sunday, and Sunday is a day off. Many things are closed, and locals are getting some rest, probably. Also, it's nice that they have these areas for sitting and taking your lunch break, having a meal, reading a book, whatever it is you'd like to do.
I should see more.
It's very convenient. So when you are thinking of traveling to Belgium, you probably think of Brussels, because it is kind of the unofficial capital of the European Union, and you always hear it in the news. And it is a big city, it is a cool place to check out for sure. But personally, I don't think this city where we are right now is less interesting than Brussels. If you are walking around and exploring the architecture and trying to feel the city vibe, and maybe checking out some shops and galleries and restaurants and parks, I feel that this city where we are right now definitely is worth visiting as well. And guess what? It's one of the many little cities or smaller towns in Belgium that may be worth checking out. For that reason, I recommend staying in Belgium for at least a week, preferably a couple of weeks or longer if you can, so that you have enough time to go outside of Brussels and see all these cities. Again, as I was saying earlier in the video, you don't necessarily have to book accommodations in all these cities, because in order for us to get here from Brussels North Station to here, it was only one stop away on the express train, and the whole ride took like 15 minutes. It's faster than actually going to some places inside Brussels from A to B. So it's very, very easy. It is a little bit pricey to travel by train in Belgium, but I do have a tip for you for that as well. So as my partner pointed out earlier, it is a Sunday, and guess what? On Friday nights after 7 p.m. I believe, as well as all day on Saturdays and Sundays, train tickets are a lot cheaper. They say it's 50% discount. It's not really 50% discount, it's less than that, but I'm not sure exactly how it's calculated, but it's at least 30 to 40% discount for buying train tickets, as long as you get it as a round trip ticket that ends at the same place where you started the journey. That's all you have to do. And this way you get to travel and explore different cities in Belgium for much less. So I would suggest spending your weekdays in Brussels or on Brussels, or places that are closer to Brussels where train travel is less expensive, and then spending your weekends on destinations that are a bit further away where train tickets cost more. Because if you're traveling with your family members or friends or your partner, it definitely does make a pretty huge difference, this 40% discount, depending on how many people you travel with and how often you do that. It can save you hundreds of euros. Another tip I have for you, if you'd like to explore Belgium like a pro, is to use toilets inside trains, because there are a lot of paid toilets in Belgium, but not so many free toilets. Even if you are dining at some places, you pay for your food and then you want to use the toilet, guess what? A lot of places still charge you to use the toilet. The price varies. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. The average cost in 2025 is about €1. And of course, it adds up if you have to pay for multiple people if you're spending a couple of weeks here. So my best recommendation would be to make sure you take advantage of those free restrooms inside trains. And it's funny because I just did that, and it was almost at the point that everybody was disembarking from the train, and it was the last stop, and I was taking care of my business, and then I got locked inside the train. So I had to wave to the person who was working at the train station so that she could unlock the door so I could get out. But for that reason, it's good to make sure you do that a little bit earlier before the train arrives to its last stop. Or if you are boarding the train, double check the train schedule to make sure the train is not departing yet, if it's not the train that you're going to be taking to your destination. But that is one place where you can use it without having to pay. All right. The next tip I have for you is to bring a backup credit card with you. If you have an American Express card, it may or may not be accepted. So make sure you have a Visa or MasterCard with you if you're trying to pay with a credit card. Amex is not accepted everywhere, so keep that in mind. It may be accepted at some places, but not everywhere. Then I also want to let you know that you should bring your water bottle with you. They don't have a lot of places where you can refill it, but you can still do that at some fast food chains or some train stations. I've seen a couple of water fountains, but definitely not a lot, because if you keep buying water, it's going to add up. Prices in Belgium are very expensive, especially in stores, convenience stores and supermarkets that are located close to the city center. It's going to cost a lot more. So I recommend bringing it with you and refilling it when you can, and also checking out budget chains such as Aldi or Lidl. It's a lot cheaper than going to Carrefour. You see these Carrefour Express stores everywhere, but they are really expensive. That would be the last place where I would buy something, unless I just have some money that I can waste. And this is what the bus stop looks like. We can see all the different lines here. And you can see this beautiful architecture surrounding us. People waiting for the bus to arrive. Maybe because it's a Sunday, it takes a little bit longer to wait for the bus. We can take a look at the schedules and frequencies so we can have an idea. You can see most of the signs are not in English. That is another tip I wanted to mention in this video, is to prepare your Google Translate app on your phone and use it, because otherwise you may or may not understand what many of these signs mean. Unfortunately, they do not always have English translations. Actually, most of the time they don't. But this sign is pretty straightforward. You can kind of understand that this is the bus line and where it's going and how soon it's going to arrive. So we can see there's a bus arriving in 1 minute, number 40, and guess what? This is that bus, number 40. So it is accurate. And after this, there's going to be bus number 2 and then bus number 1 in 5 minutes. So this gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect. Now it looks like we are reaching the center of the city, where the architecture is even more impressive. I'm so excited to take a look at this. Yeah, even that one in the distance. Wow, look at that. So cool. And we can see the other bus, number 3, is arriving at the station. If you are new on the channel and you are wondering why I keep filming trains and buses, is because I travel through the lens of public transportation. That is my main priority, is to check out different buses and trains and ride them and share my experience. If you are into public transportation, you like exploring cities this way, make sure to subscribe, because I have a lot of content on many different transit vehicles around the world. This is indeed one of the most impressive buildings I've seen in Belgium so far. I think the light is a little bit challenging, so I'm gonna go around it. Oh, the bus is going exactly on this path where people are walking too. So the buses and people are sharing the space. And the scooters too. Reminds me of Thailand a little bit. Wow. The whole wall basically is like a masterpiece. So much detail, and I cannot even imagine how much time it took to put this together, this building. If you take a guess, how long do you think it took them to build this? Many years, yeah, definitely many years. And this city is so quiet on a Sunday. I love it. It's just the perfect balance. Not too crowded, not too noisy, but also you don't feel like it's dead or anything. You still see some people around exploring the area. These magical sounds of the bells is something that definitely makes Belgium stand out. You don't hear this kind of sounds in California very often, which is where I came from. But these kind of buildings, you see it kind of all over Belgium. This kind of architectural style is like their signature style, I guess. And I'm not sure where the bells were coming from. Maybe it's this building? That one? Well, how would you compare this with Antwerp? Because I feel that this is kind of, I like it better. The energy of this little city, Leuven, is very, what is the right word? It's magical. Peaceful, magical,
Because today is last crowd.
elegant also. Let's take a look at what's going on over there.
It's not like it's designed for tourists.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, before I forget, another tip for traveling in Belgium and exploring it like a pro is to book everything ahead of time. You don't have to book these train tickets ahead of time for the regional trains from Brussels to little towns and cities around Brussels, but you do need to book accommodations as early as you can, as well as your flights and the train tickets from other countries, international train tickets into Belgium, as the price varies significantly based on the date when you book it. If you do it in the last moment, it's going to cost a lot more. But if you do it in advance, it's going to cost a lot less. And I'm not just talking about a few euros, I'm talking about hundreds of euros per person that you would be saving if you book it a couple of months in advance. And with that being said, I want to let you know that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching, and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad. This is where you can also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities across the globe, my helpful tips, PDF guides, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. I really appreciate you being a part of the Transit Nomad family, watching my videos, commenting, liking, subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tamam hadi biraz koşalım. Gel. Bisiklete dikkat etmeye söz ver.